13, and as always, Coach Barnes, we are thankful that you have joined us today.
I'm glad to be here.
And man, I'm sure you're glad to be here because not only is it a big day for you, we'll get to that later, but you guys are coming off a big old win there against Utah Valley. And what most people love to see, that buzzer beater win. Can you tell me about what was going through your mind when that game got close? They tied it there at the end late,
Right.
and then your team showed composure, and then Taze Moore finished it out.
Well, I was thinking all along, I always felt like we would win the game. At least I believed that way. And I thought we would get a stop on the defensive end and help us, but they made a big three. And then we came down, and actually we ran the play a little bit too fast, and they hit the back of the rim, and then, as you can see here, we shot the ball, and Taze Moore tipped it in, and the place went crazy.
Yeah, fun celebration there. I was trying to keep an eye to see if you were going to dogpile in there, but I didn't see you run out there. What was up with that?
I jumped up. You know, those dog piles can get you hurt. You know,
That's very true.
I'm not one of those guys that want to be injured anymore. So I usually run away from the dog pile because normally someone comes out and there's a hurt ankle or wrist or back or shoulder or something. I want to be healthy. So
Smart.
A win is a win. Get excited about it. I jumped up. Not very high. But
I saw the
jumped
smile
up.
creep on your face.
And I had
Maybe
a
turn
great
the other
smile.
direction of the dog pile,
Yes,
but you were happy.
Yes, I did not want that dog pile.
and two, to talk about your guy, a young guy, Taze Moore, to show composure like that. I know you guys, you feel good with him with offensive rebounds in those situations, but to be able to have a clutch moment like that and put that back, what does that say about Taze?
Well, first of all, he had to have known the time because he shot the ball so quickly. So that tells us that he was really aware of how much time was on the clock. And he's one of those guys that makes spectacular plays. And like your plays, you love dunks.
I do.
And he's our best dunker. So just for him to make that play and at that particular time meant so much to him, but also to us. He's a guy that's coming off injuries, and man, to get everyone excited with the buzzer beater, I mean, he's been pumped up ever since.
Yeah, and of course the fans, as you saw there, the fans were showing him some love, especially those young kids excited to see CCB runners getting off to a 2-0 start in conference play.
Yes.
I'm sure that feels good as well, but we also got to shine a light on Damian Durham, who was tied as the all-time WAC leader for threes, but he surpassed that in this game. What can you say about Damian and the sharpshooter leader that he is out there?
Well, the thing about him is, and I'll you know, he's been one of those guys that at times seem inconsistent. The thing you know is that once he gets us going, it's not going to be one, it's not going to be two. Most of the time it's going to be 4 or 5 threes that he'll make. I just like the fact that he's been consistent over his career. You know, not every game, but when he goes on runs, it's really good. And I'm happy for him. That's a great accomplishment. Been a lot of great players in this league, and to be the all-time three-point field goal leader says something about him, but also we like it just for our program that we set at the top in that category.
Yeah, it's good to see consistency, especially too. And what I always love is in big moments like that, you got to think about the guys that are sitting there on the bench, not getting out there on the court.
Right.
What can you say about that that mentality of the guys having to cheer on their teammates and not be out there in those crucial moments? What do you see across from the bench?
Well, that's the thing. I've always told our bench, I think, you know, that's kind of tells what kind of program you have. It tells what kind of team you have. Usually the guys that are our 15th and 14th guys, 13 guys on our bench, their approach to everything in our program, if it's really good and it's really positive, it normally trends up, if that's what you want to say, or trends down to the rest of the guys. We have a really great group of guys on our bench this year, and I think that's the reason why we've been successful to this point, because they've been really positive. They're always cheering on. And I tell them, you know, majority of our players aren't going to ever play pro basketball. And the ones that do, they won't play for long. And we're all going to have to figure out life. In some places you go to, when you start off working, you're not going to be sitting in the anchor seat. So you're going to have to be a reporter that's on the ground. You're going to have to be sitting behind a desk. And you work your way up.
Right.
And when you work your way up, you want those same people that may be in the positions that you were in to work that way that you work for someone. So I just think when you give, normally it comes back to you. So I tell them, you know, if you give to this team and you give to your, what we call them, brothers, or to your family, great things come back to you. They may not come back the way that they came to them, but it will come back to you. So I love our team. I love our bench. Even through some of the losses that we've had, those guys have been really good. And then they come to practice every day, ready to practice, and that's what makes us better.
And that is absolutely, I'm sure, where the mindset is. I'm sure you celebrated just a wee bit, but I know that the mindset all year long has been keeping your focus on what's next. So, so you kind of check the boxes. You got the 2-0 start with conference play. You're still perfect at home. But now you're getting on the road, and it's going to get a little bit tougher because you guys opened up against 2 teams that were ranked above you in preseason polls. But now you're going to see some more competition in these next 2 games, including the defending WAC champ there. But let's start with the first game on the road. When you look at UT Rio Grande Valley, what are you seeing from this matchup that might give you a little bit of trouble out there in Texas?
Well, what they press a lot. And the last team that pressed us was Gonzaga, and they caused us problems. And it's the first team this year that really caused us a lot of problems. So I'm sure they're going to look at the film and try to figure out how they can press us. Also, they've been really good at home. They beat us the last 2 times, which I think before last year. I don't know if they had beat us since I'm here, but they did last year. And they have a lot of their players back. They play fast, which that's kind of tough when you go on the road and the team play fast. Because when you go on the road, you want to control the tempo. And that's one of the things that we're going to have to do in this game. But I'm confident that our guys will be ready. We're playing with a level of confidence right now, especially after the 2 wins and throughout practices, but this has been coming because before then we had a 5 or 6 game winning streak. So we feel really good about the way we're playing and our team, and we're really hungry to win some more, you know, because our guys obviously out the other night, they're ready to get back to the floor and hopefully win again.
And of course, 2 guys that kind of caused you trouble last time, Wynn and Varner, are those big-time forwards on this team. So is that who you're keying up there to make sure that they don't put up the points they did the last time you guys met?
Well, last time, I mean, one of the things about both of those guys, they take shots. They're leading scorers. You know, they're both athletic. They both what I call shot takers. I mean, you know, they're going to exhaust every opportunity when they get the ball. And I think we're going to have to try to eliminate their touches, and I think we're going to have to use a team defense where last year they had a kid by the name of Dixon that was really good, and we focused on him, but those 2 guys stepped up on us, so this time we won't make that mistake, and we'll try to focus more on them but have a balanced defense that hopefully we don't let those guys have a big night on us.
And then from that, you'll head to New Mexico State, and of course, always kind of the top of the conference there. They're doing some good things this year again and have a good record coming into this game. So what do you see from those defending WAC champs?
Well, first of all, they're really deep and talented. They're playing about 13 guys in a game, and a lot of times they play 11 to 12 in the first half. They can play different, multiple ways. They have a big lineup. They have a small lineup. They have a group of guys that are scoring team. So we're going to have to really be prepared and ready. It's a quick turnaround from being at Texas Rio Grande Valley. So our coaches are going to have to do a great job once that game is over, preparing our guys. But again, the thing about it, we're so used to the way they play, and they've had several guys that have been on the teams in the past, and they're not necessarily trying to play a certain way that's different than many teams. So the personnel part would be the most important part, not necessarily the strategy. We've got to know which guys can shoot and what big men do, because what they do as far as their offense is pretty basic.
And no rest for the wicked. You
no
guys,
rest at all.
Yeah, you open up the conference on a high note, but I'm curious, when you open up like that against 2 teams again, ranked ahead of you, I'm sure it feels good. You guys right now, I don't know if we can say this, but sit atop the WAC standings for men's basketball right now. But of course, I know as a coach, you're not looking at that. You're trying to get your guys directed on the one task ahead. But how do you grab that momentum from a buzzer beater win like that against Utah Valley and try to carry that on the road to help you there for that first game?
Well, I think you just mentioned it. First of all, there was 2 teams. We didn't just beat one team. There was 2 teams that are ahead of us. And it's important to take care of your home court. So now you try to prepare your guys, what we call being road warriors. We've got to figure out a way to get a win on the road, and we've got to put everything into the next 40 minutes to try to get back to Bakersfield, because if we win and we get one of them, we've got 2 home games after that. So it'll put us in a great position, almost closing in on the halfway point if we take care of business at home. And I'm sure then we'll still be at the top of the league by then. So hopefully we can figure out a way. If we can win 2, it's great. If we can win 1. But we've got 40 minutes that we've got to focus on against Texas Rio Grande Valley, and that's what we'll do. But the playing better is the biggest part for me, because our goal is to go to the NCAA tournament. And we're not good enough right now. And we've got to get better in some areas, and we've been working on those, and we talked about it today, and hopefully, we'll be better. If we're better on Thursday than we was last Saturday, I think we've got a good chance to win a game.
Yeah, when you have young teams, I think that's the most fun when you're looking at that growth. It's not always as quick as you wanted, of course, but you're seeing a little bit of it and a little bit of the maturity and experience come to play each game.
Yes.
So a good note to enter into the second week of conference play, and I mentioned it is a big day for you because it is your birthday today. So a big happy birthday to you. I'm sure you're super excited to join us for your birthday today.
Well, it's good. I mean, it's work. We talked about a month ago almost, and we were talking about Christmas and Thanksgiving, and said we don't get a chance to really celebrate. So there's nothing today. Last night, the players got a cake for me, so we kind of celebrated last night. I think they were trying to prepare that hopefully I wouldn't have a tough practice today, so they gave me a cake last night. No, but Will Carter had a little get-together and asked the players to come, and they kind of celebrated a birthday with me last night. But today is business as usual. Got in, got to work, looked at film, prepared for practice. I'm here with you, and we'll go back and prepare again and get ready to leave in the morning. So, but it's always a blessing for me. I have great people around me. I have my family and friends, and the coaching staff are great people. So I'm blessed. So whether it's January the 8th, or 7th, or 10th, it's all good.
All right, so, well, that's great to hear, but so I shouldn't cue the streamers and balloons? I should hold off?
No, just hold off.
Okay, we'll hold off.
Hopefully in March.
Then we'll shoot off a bunch of things, fireworks and all.
Hopefully in March. Yeah.
All right, well, mine's set on March. Well, my mind is set on your hot seat.
Oh, no.
It's your birthday, but like you said, it's back to business. So I got a few fun questions, as always, Coach.
All right, I'm ready.
So in basketball, a lot of the fun of the game is kind of the swag and the nuance, and you see it a lot in offense, and you got a lot of players dishing out the athleticism. What's your most favorite offensive move to see, either your players or that you've seen on a court?
Oh, wow. Man, my most favorite
Or maybe
move.
one that you hit back in the day, hey?
Probably my favorite play is a no-look pass.
Okay.
I mean, because I think the vision to see it all, to hit another player in stride, and there's 2 players that are involved. So that's probably my favorite play. I'm like, oh, wow, how did he see that? And that kind of makes it really fun and exciting to me.
I like it. I feel like Ricky Holden, we've seen a few from him, at least I have. He's doing that for you, Coach.
Right.
And things that you've learned from other sports that maybe you've incorporated or maybe you wish you could incorporate, that when you look at and watch other big-time sports, what do you kind of see as a key that you can bring to the game of basketball?
Oh, wow. That's really tough. But one of the things I think is very important, and we have a tough time doing it with this group of guys I have, whether it was the national championship game last night, you saw a focus there with Clemson, and last year with Alabama, that they just made plays. You couldn't really tell on the field whether they were winning or losing because they were so focused to end the game, And to me, when I look at whether it's Serena in tennis or, you know, whether it's one of the great players, that may be a golf player or something, the focus that they have, whether it's an individual focus, individual sport or team sport, is something that I'm always trying to grasp. It's like this is something that you want to bottle up and give to everyone, but it's hard to come by. So that's probably the thing to me, is just telling our guys to be in the moment. The other night when we hit the big shot, I had moved on to, if they said it's not any good, what are we gonna do?
That's why he turned his back. He was back on the back on the whiteboard, chalking up plates.
And I said, hey, if we won, it's over. But and those are the times for our players. I really enjoy seeing them do that. There's nothing like a buzzer beater for a team, especially on the winning side of it, because that excitement, that childlikeness, that enthusiasm, that team camaraderie that happens, a lot of times if you can keep that going, you can move and help prepare you to have a really good year.
Yeah, and you mentioned it, Clemson, they saw the big end of that, knocking off the Dynasty 44-16.
Yes.
We all wish we could do that. But if I only knew, Coach, if that's what you wanted was just a bottle of Focus, I would have got you that for your birthday.
Okay.
If I could figure out how to get that, trust me, I would take that. Well, we're going to end on the birthday note. For you, Coach, we just kind of joked there, but what makes the ultimate birthday gift?
Really just being with family. You know, last night, we watched the national championship game with our team. You know, just having my family around is really special to me because, again, as much as we seem like we're together, my wife comes to the game, my mother comes to the game, we don't spend a lot of time together. And when you can take moments in time to sit back and say, hey, you know, I'm thankful to God that you're part of who I am, that's really special to me. So. Yeah. My mom even asked me today, and she's probably watching this, what do I want for my birthday? And I told her nothing. I was only joking, Mom, but
he'll take a car, he'll take a championship, wouldn't we all?
Right. No, but just being with them and spending time with family and friends is really special to me.
All right, well, we're going to end it on the heart, which I always love. You always bring a good deal of wisdom and heart to our Runner's Recap. But you do, Coach, so thank you so much.
Thank you.
Big happy birthday to you.
Thank you very much.
We'll continue to keep our eyes on March, right? But we'll stay focused at one game at a time.
We will, sure will.
All right, everybody. Well, thank you so much for joining us for Runner's Recap. We will see you next week.